Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Awards Gambit. I hope everyone is doing fabulous. We have now entered the month of March, which means goodbye winter and hello spring. I am here today to do my final Oscar winner predictions for the 96th Annual Academy Awards. The Oscars are this Sunday, March 10th. You could stream them on ABC at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's been a long and chaotic few months on the way to the Oscars, but we are less than a week away, and I'm so excited to share my final picks with you all in all 23 categories. So, why don't we go ahead and jump right in? First up, I'm going to quickly go over the 3 short film categories. I haven't seen these films and I don't know much about them, but I'll share my predictions with you all just for fun. For Best Live Action Short Film, the nominees are The After, Invincible, Night of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, and The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. My prediction for this category is The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. This short film is on Netflix. It is from Oscar nominee Wes Anderson and starring Oscar nominee Benedict Cumberbatch. And yeah, I haven't seen it. I normally don't watch the short films, but my rule of thumb for predicting what's going to win the short film categories is whichever movie has like the best title or the most appealing title, the title that stands out the most. So for this one, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, that one stood out to me, and I had heard a little bit about it, so I'm just going to predict that one to win. For Best Documentary Short Film, the nominees are The ABCs of Book Banning, The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, and Nai Nai and Waipo. For this category, I am predicting the ABCs of Book Banning. Like I said in the previous category, has the best title, in my opinion, stood out the most. It also sounds like it is pretty relevant, talking about book banning, I'm assuming. So that is what I'm predicting for documentary short. For Best Animated Short Film, the nominees are Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, and War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. My prediction for this category is Letter to a Pig. Haven't heard or seen any of these, but to me, Letter to a Pig stood out the most, so that's what I'm going with. Now, on to the full-length film categories. For Best International Feature Film, the nominees are Io Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days from Japan, Society of the Snow from Spain, The Teacher's Lounge from Germany, and The Zone of Interest from the United Kingdom. I'd say this one is a pretty easy category to predict. I'm going with The Zone of Interest. It was the only one here that was nominated for Best Picture. It got 5 nominations in total, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best International Feature, and Best Sound. And it won this category BAFTA. This category might have been a good race if Anatomy of a Fall was submitted from France, but it was not. So here we are, and The Zone of Interest is definitely taking this award. For Best Documentary Feature Film, the nominees are Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, 4 Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Mariupol. My prediction for this category is 20 Days in Mariupol. This film won the DGA award and the BAFTA award for documentary. It's very timely about the Russia-Ukraine war. I'm pretty confident in this category with 20 Days in Mariupol winning, but I would say that this race could be a little fluid with the absence of American Symphony, which was sort of the predicted frontrunner before nominations, and it has won some other awards, but I am sticking with 20 Days in Mariupol. For Best Animated Feature Film, the nominees are The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I am predicting Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to win this category. I think it is a very close race between this and Boy and the Heron. They've both won many awards. I would say this race is basically a coin flip at this point. but I am predicting Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because I feel like that film was more popular. We know that the first film in this series, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, won this race in 2019, and I feel like this race sort of reminds me of the race in 2020 when Toy Story 4 won. It didn't win all the precursors. I feel like it only won Critics' Choice. So that race was a little bit split, but it did end up going to Toy Story 4 not too long after Toy Story 3 had won this category. So it's a little reminiscent of that. And so Spider Man is what I ultimately decided to go with. For Best Visual Effects, the nominees are The Creator, Godzilla Minus One, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. I am going to predict Godzilla Minus One for this category. It's a very fluid race. There are no Best Picture nominees nominated here. Napoleon, I would say, is the closest to what normally would be nominated for Best Picture. You know, like biopic, historical drama. The other ones don't really seem like Best Picture nominees. So part of me wanted to give the edge to Napoleon, but since it lost the BAFTA, I didn't really have much faith in it winning here, and nobody's really talked about that movie since it came out, even though it did get 3 nominations at the Oscars. But I feel like there's a lot of goodwill for Godzilla Minus One. It came out pretty recently, and I feel like it's an inspired nomination when that got nominated here. So I am going to stick with Godzilla Minus One, but because of the fluidity, I do feel like it could go to any one of these 5 nominees. For Best Sound, the nominees are The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. I am picking Oppenheimer to win this category. The sound in Oppenheimer was absolutely astonishing. It goes really well with the amazing visuals in the film. I would say the Zone of Interest definitely has a chance to upset, especially with that BAFTA win. The sounds in the Zone of Interest were really well incorporated into the film, and they really elevated the message of the film, and they kind of stuck with you as you left the movie theater. So I wouldn't count out the Zone of Interest for this category, but it does seem like Oppenheimer has this one in the bag, and it kind of fits the mold of past winners too. So I am going to predict Oppenheimer, but definitely watch out for the Zone of Interest. That would be a great win, great upset. For Best Original Song, the nominees are The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, It Never Went Away from American Symphony, Wazaze from Killers of the Flower Moon, and What Was I Made For from Barbie. I am predicting What Was I Made For this category. I'm very confident in this pick. It won the Golden Globe Award and a slew of other awards, including the Grammy for Song of the Year, which just shows how strong this song is. Billie Eilish is just major star power. I think she's going to win her second Oscar, which is wild, but, you know, congrats to her. She's a hard worker. I do think that I'm Just Ken has a small chance of upsetting, especially with that Critics' Choice win. But that was a long time ago, and I just think that Billie Eilish is going to take this one. For Best Original Score, the nominees are American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. My prediction for this category is Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is definitely winning this category. That movie had such an amazing score, and it fit right into the background of the movie. It's been sweeping so many awards in this category, and it even won a Grammy. So congrats to Ludwig Göransson on going on to winning your second Oscar. For Best Production Design, the nominees are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'm predicting Barbie to win this category. Ever since I saw it in July, I felt like it had a really good chance of winning this category. All of the sets from the real world to the flamboyant and iconic Barbie world, I decided to go with my heart and stick with Barbie in this category. It's always been a close race between Barbie and Poor Things, and I could see either one winning, but my gut is telling me to go with Barbie, so that's what I'm going to do. For Best Costume Design, the nominees are Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Same exact lineup as Production Design. For this category, I'm predicting Poor Things to win. Poor Things just had very flashy and big, quirky outfits throughout the whole film, and I feel like they all really fit well with the overall weird vibe of the movie. And just like I said with production design, I feel like this has always been a close race between this and Barbie. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Barbie won, but I did pick Poor Things not only for the reasons I just stated, but also I feel like the costumes in Poor Things were much more original, whereas a lot of Barbie's outfits were based off of real costumes that were on the different types of Barbie toys. So I would say that that is definitely a plus one in Poor Things direction. It was tough picking a winner for both costume design and production design, Barbie versus Poor Things, but I settled with them each winning one. These two categories have been split the past 4 years, so I'm predicting that they will split again for the fifth year in a row. For Best Makeup and Hairstyling, the nominees are Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. I decided to go with Maestro for this category. I'm not super confident in this pick because Maestro hasn't had much support in months, but I feel like it does align with past winners of this category, some of which were also weak films, like The Iron Lady, Bombshell, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, The Whale, and even Maestro got more nominations than those films, including a Best Picture nomination, so it does make sense that Maestro would win this category. And all of those films are all biopic performances with prosthetics, so it does definitely seem like the movie that would win this race out of all of the nominees here. But if anyone would upset, I would say it would be BAFTA winner Poor Things. That could definitely happen, but I am going to stick with Maestro. For Best Film Editing, the nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I am predicting Oppenheimer to win this category. It was such an incredible accomplishment to keep a consistent, steady pace for a 3-hour film. And so, definitely kudos to Jennifer Lame, the editor of this film. It's going to be great to see Oppenheimer win this award, be very well deserved. It's been sweeping so many editing awards, and I think it's definitely going to go on to win the Oscar as well. For Best Cinematography, the nominees are El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I'm predicting Oppenheimer to win this category. Oppenheimer had some of the most unforgettably stunning shots. I was in awe when I saw it. It's been winning all the cinematography awards. I think that it's gonna go on to win the Oscar. For Best Original Screenplay, the nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. My prediction for this category is Anatomy of a Fall. I finally saw this movie last week. It was absolutely incredible. The screenplay was so riveting. There was a lot of dialogue, and every time anyone had a monologue, it was so encapsulating, and I would be happy to see this movie win on Sunday. It won the Golden Globe Award, it won the BAFTA. None of its competitors in this category have won any major screenplay awards to my knowledge. Barbie won Original Screenplay at Critics' Choice, and now that is adapted at the Oscars, so it seems like it's just going to go to Anatomy of a Fall, so I'm very confident in that prediction. The nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay are American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I'm predicting Oppenheimer to win this category. It hasn't really won any precursors, but I feel like this could be a coattail win. It's going to be sweeping a lot of awards, so I feel like it could just take screenplay along with it. I'm not confident in this pick because American Fiction has been racking up a lot of surprising wins, including the Critics' Choice BAFTA Award. It also won at the Indie Spirits not too long ago, and it just really appears to be undeniable for adapted screenplay. But I don't want to get my hopes up for American Fiction to win. I'm expecting the worst, hoping for the best. I tend to do that with somewhat close races, and I feel like this race is not a lock for Oppenheimer. So for races like these, I tend to not pick the one I'm rooting for, so that if they do win, I'll be happy. If they don't win, I'll be happy because I got my prediction right. So, either way, it's a win. So I'm just going to stick with Oppenheimer here. For Best Actor in a Supporting Role, the nominees are Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. I am predicting Robert Downey Jr. to win this category. I've said this all season, but this is a lock. He swept the four precursors, and I have no doubt in my mind that he is going on to win his first Oscar on Sunday. Not much to talk about here. For Best Supporting Actress, the nominees are Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. I am predicting Davine Joy Randolph to win here. Same situation here. Davine has swept not only the precursors, but has won dozens of smaller Critics Circle awards, and she's got this in the bag, so I'm looking forward to seeing another great speech from Davine on Sunday. For Best Leading Actor, the nominees are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. I'm predicting Cillian Murphy to win this award. I wouldn't say this is an absolute lock, but I'm very confident that he's going to win. The momentum is in his favor with recent wins at BAFTA and SAG. He is in the front and center of Oppenheimer, so it makes sense that he would win this award, especially when Oppenheimer's already going to be winning many other awards. I would say there's a small chance that Giamatti could win. He does have two precursor wins in the Golden Globe and the Critics' Choice, and he's a veteran actor, so you never know, but that would be a major upset, so I am going to stick with Cillian Murphy. For Best Leading Actress, the nominees are Annette Bening for Nyad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. I am going with Emma Stone for this category. She delivered career best work in Poor Things. She is the undisputable lead of this film. I would say that this is the category to look out for on Sunday because it is shaping up to be a very close race between her and Lily Gladstone. But the biggest reason I'm picking Emma is same thing as what I said for adapted screenplay. I tend not to pick the one I'm rooting for, and in this case, I'm rooting for Lily Gladstone. I try not to get my hopes up when there's someone that I'm really rooting for, like Lily Gladstone in this situation, so I don't predict the one I'm rooting for, so that if they win, I'm happy, and if they lose, at least I got the prediction right. I'm really rooting for Lily Gladstone. It would be such a historic win. She gave such a great performance in Killers of the Flower Moon. It was unforgettable, and it's such a close race. It's such a nail-biter. I had trouble going back and forth, but I already said why I picked Emma, and, it would be deserved win. She was so good in Poor Things, but I would like to see somebody else win an Oscar. Emma Stone has already won one, so I'm rooting for Lily. But either way, it'll be a good win. I would say Sandra Hüller maybe has an outside shot of taking it. Anatomy of a Fall is a strong film. She gave a strong performance. She was in The Zone of Interest as well. She gave two very strong performances in two very strong films. So you never know. But this race is mostly between Emma and Lily. And I decided to give the edge to Emma. For Best Director, the nominees are Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. I'm predicting Christopher Nolan to win this category. This might be the biggest lock of the whole night. He has been winning every Best Director award you can imagine. Oppenheimer was such a huge achievement, and it's his time. He's been creating absolutely iconic films this whole century. It'll be great to see him win his first Oscar on Sunday. And for the final category, we have Best Picture. Big one of the night, top prize. The nominees are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I am predicting Oppenheimer to win this category. It's won Golden Globe, Drama, Critics' Choice, BAFTA, SAG, PGA. It just cannot be stopped. There is no clear second place in this race. Nothing has even come close to beating Oppenheimer. It's absolutely winning Best Picture, and I have to say that it will be a well-earned win, so congratulations to Oppenheimer. And there you have it, folks. Those are my official locked-in predictions for the winners for the 2024 Academy Awards. Thank you all so much for watching and following me this whole award season. It has been a wild ride, and I'm so happy I got to share it with you all. Stay tuned for my Oscars recap, either Sunday night or Monday, for a little award season wrap up. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at the Awards Gambit. And don't forget to switch your clocks ahead 1 hour this weekend for daylight savings time. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time on the Awards Gambit.